Yeah, so here we have a big drum brake. Yeah. So this is a double leading design. That means there's two pistons on each side, two wheel cylinders, and then there's two retaining springs. These are big springs here. So yeah, then there's this clip here to hold the drums in place. If you can go a little bit underneath, there are these two bolts here. I don't know their use, but yes. Here we have our roller bearing, and then over here we have our drum. Here it is. So this monstrosity sits on top here. So when you are in the cabin of your truck or vehicle, when you press the brakes, this is how brakes operate. When you're in your car and you press the brake fluid comes in to these wheel cylinders and then it pushes out the fluid like this. So you'll come in, it'll push these ends here, up or down. So in case if you press your brakes, it'll go up, pushing this one up, attaching to that drum you just showed earlier, that one over there, stopping the vehicle. So yeah, that is the design. And this double leading design meaning that if these two pistons are here, wheel cylinders, when you're pressing the brakes, instead of the leading and trailing system, which is one wheel cylinder usually over here, this one's when you press the brakes, this will push out this shoe and this shoe at the same time, stopping this shoe and this shoe, stopping the vehicle at once. But with a leading and trailing design, there's only one wheel cylinder. Usually here, it'll push out it'll push both shoes, but one will go out further. I'll show you later on in another clip. But this is a double leading design. And then there are adjusters. Normally your adjusters are on the back of the backing plate, but here's your adjuster to adjust the wheel cylinder. It's on both sides, one at the bottom, one at the top here in this design. And yeah, this is just another drum brake. So here we have another brake, drum brake design. This one is different from that one, but they all have the same concepts. Two retaining springs, one to hold this plate in. Then the spring here, we have our adjuster at the bottom there. And then we have our wheel cylinder and our handbrake adjuster cable. But the handbrake cable will come through here. Handbrake cable comes through this hole and then will attach to this thing. So, system of operation is always the same, yes. Here's our wheel cylinder. In this design, there's only one piston compared to the two in the other drums. In the other drum brake, so this one is this piston, same concept. When you're in the cabin and you press on the brakes, these pistons will extend outwards, pushing out these shoes onto the drum. There's a drum that sits here as well. This will push out, but then in this one, the design is different. When you press the brakes, one will grip the drum first, and then the other one will do such later. This is a leading and trailing design, right? So instead of both of them hitting the drum at the same time, this one they hit at different times to stop the vehicle. Same concept but different design. So this is a leading and trailing, and that one is a double and leading. They do the same thing, but for these ones, usually these ones are found in smaller vehicles or smaller trucks. And then in this case, the adjuster is here, a single adjuster. In this case, you see, here it is, and then this adjuster adjusts how much the shoes are in or out. So let's say this lining has been worn out on the side. You can see no, this, I am not sure how it operates, but I know that if the shoes are worn out, this will be opened up to accommodate the drum's less frictional material. And then here we have a spring. So this is our anchor pin, and this design is actually different because there is an anchor pin. This anchor pin is the one that's holding in the shoe in place so that it doesn't move. Let me not remove it because these things are problematic and rusted. But yeah, So here we have our drum brakes. Drum brakes all have the same principle. Drum brakes use wheel cylinders to push out shoes onto a drum, which causes friction, and that stops the vehicle. That's what causes the car or the truck to stop, you know. And then you also have disc brakes. I'll show that you in another clip, but yeah, so here we just have another setup of drum brakes. And then there's also air brakes, which is the same as this, but also a little bit different because there is only like 3 big springs, and then yeah, so that's the other setup as well. Here we have our disc brakes. So this is our rotor, caliper, and inside we have brake pads. Let me try getting in. This is our brake pads, and this is our control arm. So when you turn your vehicle, this will turn this in the direction. The brake line going into the caliper. Same concept. When you press the brake, as our brake pedal, when you press the brake, fluid will come from here. There should be a master cylinder here pumping out fluid into here, and then there's a piston. Let me go in a little bit more. If you can see it, yeah, there's supposed to be a piston. Did you see that little bit of rubber in there? If you can see it, that's our piston. So this one will push. So when your car is moving along, you need to stop your car. This piston will push one of the brake pads, and since this is a floating, this is a floating caliper setup, I believe one of the brake pads is attached permanently and is not moving. One of the pistons will push one of the brake pads, and this brake pad will clamp down on this rotor to stop the vehicle, so that will create friction. Every brake has always been about friction and how much friction can be applied to stop the brakes. These types of brakes are used most commonly in passenger vehicles, small motor vehicles, and whatnot. And then I'm not sure about in trucks, but that's what I know. The setup. So it's the same setup here, and this setup on this tray. If you ignore the engine cover for a minute, here we have the two. In the setup, there's 2 disc brakes, and in the back there's 2 drum brakes. Now if I rotate this brake setup, being careful, you can see that there's a little bit of a difference. This is the other drum brake design used in small passenger cars. Spring here, one retaining spring, 2 of them here. This one to hold it in place, this one to hold it in place. Adjust the cable, I don't know, handbrake adjuster, I'm not sure, but this is the way the handbrake would go. So the cable would come through here, something like this. Cable will come through here, and then it has its thing, and it would attach here, so that when you pull on this handbrake, the shoes will expand outwards like this. Okay, yeah, so it has its own wheel cylinder. Same concept. When you press the brakes, wheel cylinder pushes outwards. When you let go of the brakes, these springs here push back the brakes back to its original position, and that's just how these brakes work in general, fella. Because no, like you have the springs, these ones are the ones that bring it back, and then this is what pushes it outwards. These are the shoes, and grips the drum. Basically the same concept. You should get it. So here's the drum. It can vary with every vehicle. I have to be careful with this. So this would slip on here. Like that. And then that's where the shoes would be gripping. So it'll grip this and stop the vehicle. Thank you.